Just on behalf of 60 of us, for a start, to have a press statement on the bills proposing constitutional alterations for a transition to parliamentary system of government. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the First. Today, we stand on the cusp of history as lawmakers across party affiliations and regional backgrounds come together to present bills proposing constitutional alterations that seek a transition to parliamentary system of government. These bills seeking to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, advocate a transition from the current presidential system to a parliamentary system at all levels, federal, state, and local governments. The proposed alterations, which when passed, will significantly impact the national political landscape. Our founders, in their wisdom and in their political atmosphere, devoid of compulsion, and having considered the interests of their native peoples and their desire to live together in a country where truth and justice reign, where no man is oppressed, and where all citizens live in peace and plenty, adopted the parliamentary system of government. That was the governance of the first system of the First Republic, a period when legislative and executive powers were exercised by the representatives of the people in parliament and in the executive. And by the nature of the system, these representatives were accountable to the people. For 6 years, while it was in operation, the system worked for the country. The collapse of the First Republic and the long stretch of the military rule culminated into the adoption of a new system of government, theoretically fashioned after the presidential system of the United States, but in practice imbibed the utmost attributes of military rule. No wonder the Nigerian president appears to be one of the most powerful presidents in the world. Over the years, the imperfections of presidential system of government have become glaring to all. Despite several alterations to the Constitution to address the shortcomings of a system that has denied the nation the opportunity of attaining its full potentials. Among these imperfections are the high cost of governance, leaving fewer resources for crucial areas like infrastructure, education, and healthcare, and consequently hindering the nation's development progress, and the excessive powers vested in members of the executive who are appointees and not directly accountable to the people. The bills that were presented today for the first reading seek a return to the system of government adopted by our fathers, which made governance accountable, responsible, and responsive, and ultimately less expensive. With the presentation of these bills today, we hope to achieve the following. Number one, ignite and provoke a national conversation about the future of Nigeria's governance system to ensure robust public debate, stakeholder consultation, expert analysis, and a thorough and informed decision-making process. Number three, to raise awareness about the significant development and encourage constructive dialogue on the potential implications of these proposed constitutional alterations. The future of Nigerian governance rests on informed public engagement and responsive and responsible leadership. The fundamental changes in the bills include: one, parliamentary system replacing the president with a prime minister to serve as the head of government and establishing the office of the president as a ceremonial leader. These elective offices are to be chosen from the elected members of the legislature. Number two, legislative elections. Shifting the process of electing governors and chairmen of local governments from general elections to voting within their respective legislative bodies. Number three, to streamline administration, potentially reducing bureaucratic hurdles and fostering closer collaboration between the executive and legislative branches. Our conviction is that a streamlined executive branch, which replaces the president and the vice president with a prime minister and cabinet chosen from the legislature, could lead to a smaller central government, reducing salaries and administrative expenses. We also hold strongly that shifting the election of governors and local government chairmen from general elections to votes within their respective legislative bodies could save billions spent on state and nationwide campaigns. Because ministers, commissioners at the state level, and supervisors at the local government level emerge from the parliament, there is a greater coordination between the executive and the legislature, just as there will be increased legislative scrutiny, which will make cabinet members responsive to the yearnings of the people and more accountable. Gentlemen of the press, the proponents of these alterations to the Constitution for a parliamentary system of government have placed the interests of our nation above other interests. Our hope is that a national conversation that will be ignited by these bills will lead to a system of government that works, and our dear nation will attain her full potentials. Thank you very much. On this note, I would like to highlight to the members of the press that we might probably take one question or two questions. And part of our agenda is that we are going to have a larger forum of those members, co-sponsors of this bill, to have a full session with the media